Camelot 331 here, and we're back. We survived since the last time I released a video. Oh my God, the fast food world is on fire right now. It's a place you don't want to be because you might die. There's a good chance. Oh my gosh, you guys have sent me in the most insane stories about fast food. I've worked there. I worked at Guthrie's when I was 16. It was damn sane. And I wasn't there very long. So I can only imagine the kind of hell that you go through when you're at fast food. Well, I'm going to share the most lethal, insane stories that have piled up recently directly from you, the viewer. And also, wait till the last story. Holy mother of God, how is this possible? Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. So before we get into it, make sure you give this video a ginormous thumbs up doodle, the biggest one you could possibly muster. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not, because that's kind of important, I'm pretty sure. First message. I work at Taco Bell and it is hell on earth. Good start. Spicy, because hell is hot, which is spicy. The other day, we had a guy come in after pulling through the drive-thru. He was screaming at everyone because he thought his Mexican pizza should be larger. And I'm not gonna disagree with him. I think my Mexican pizza could always be larger because I'm a hungry hippo, son. He demanded to watch me make a fresh one so he could see where I messed up. He got even more upset when I made it the exact same way. He then started heading to the back and threw me out of the way and began making his own Mexican pizza. Well, he took matters into his own hands. Who can fault a man for that? He made this giant thing while we called the police. He was yelling that we were all dumb and couldn't even get fast food right, saying it was obvious we didn't go to college or have any education. I'm in school for engineering, by the way. Good on you, son. He then threw it in a bag and stormed out and threw his old pizza against the wall. His pizza did look more appetizing than mine, though. I'll give him that. It was thick. I see nothing wrong with this story at all. He did nothing wrong. If you want something done right, then you gotta risk getting arrested to do it yourself. That's what I always say. I literally live by that saying, the phrase. It's gonna be on my tombstone. Next message. I have been at Dunkin' Donuts for a long ass time, and the craziest thing that happened was when we got robbed at gunpoint. Ooh, damn. Terrifying. This has happened to me before. I had a gun pressed up against my temple. It didn't feel good. It was kind of terrifying, and you'll be kind of surprised how quickly you accept death. There's no jokes attached to this one, folks. I was terrified because the robber had a gun on me the entire time. He was getting irate because he couldn't get the register open, and I fell to the floor because I was so afraid. My legs just gave out. He was screaming at me to open the register and saying he was going to kill me. I just screamed and cried, like any normal person would probably do in that situation. He got frustrated and just ran to the back of the store trying to find other cash, I guess. I called the police and told them. He ran back up at that point and pushed me down and started frantically grabbing donuts. What? He then ran out and got about half a mile on foot and was arrested. He stole a grand total of 6 donuts. Wow. That's grand theft donut right there. He got nothing else. I got wrote up for not immediately opening the register and giving the robber what he wanted, which is BS, but whatever. That is actually a policy in almost every retail job that's giant and corporate. If you don't give the robber what they want immediately and risk anything, like if you fight back or like slap them and don't die in the process, yeah, you'll get fired. But how hungry do you have to be to rob donuts at gunpoint? Granted, I know he was going for the cash, but he took donuts. He settled for donuts. Donuts are pretty delicious. Would you risk getting arrested for donuts? I probably would. Next message. I used to work at Subway. When I was there, we always had a problem with people coming up to the door after close and trying to get us to serve them, sometimes drunk or something else. We always ignored it. One day our alarm went off and I got a call from the alarm company. I went in and there was a broken window and blood everywhere. Shocking. What possibly could have happened at this Subway? A wondrous tale that we're about to unravel. I had no idea what was going on. There was an ambulance and everything. I filled out a report and decided to go look at the camera with a police officer. We played it back and saw this guy come up around 3 a.m. He was pounding on the window, even though it was completely dark in there and obviously not open. Story of my life. You know how many times somebody came up and pulled on the door when I worked at GameStop? At 12 p.m.? I mean a.m. I'm a redneck. At 12 a.m. and it was dark outside and there was no lights on and they pulled on the door. I saw that every day. He then left the camera shot and came back shortly after with a pipe. He proceeded to bust the window and crawl in. When he crawled in, he cut himself really bad on glass. He went behind the counter, but did not steal any money. He stole some sandwich stuff and made himself a sandwich and ate it. Shocking. There was blood everywhere in the store. Looked like a zombie movie. He climbed back out the window and passed out almost immediately. He was wasted. He was taken away in an ambulance and arrested later. It was the funniest thing ever, although it was a headache to fix. Our total loss of food was about $8 worth. He was so hungry that he just busted in a place and then ate the food. Because it's like the donuts. It's the same damn thing. I'm noticing a pattern. The guy wanted a Mexican pizza that was fatter, and he did it. Son, he took the matter into his own hands. We had the guy with the donuts. He had the gun out and was threatening to kill people over donuts, which is kind of crazy as hell, but he was really hungry, apparently, for donuts. And now the guy that broke into the Subway and cut himself to make a sandwich. Why didn't he just go home and make a sandwich? Maybe he had no home to go to. Maybe Subway was his home. Next message. I got a McDonald's story for you that happened to me the other day. I was working and it was late. There was this homeless guy that hung around our parking lot, walking around asking for rides or money. He seemed harmless, just sat on the sidewalk and talked to himself, which is completely normal. Well, this night it was late and it was the first time he had ever come into the restaurant. He went directly to the bathroom and stayed in there for a while and then came out, just gazing at me the whole time. That's not creepy at all. He walked up and ordered a coffee and laid down a $1 bill. I told him it was no charge and said, "Have a good rest of your night." His eyes got really, really wide and he screamed and threw the coffee into my face and ran into the corner. Very normal behavior, I would like to add. Very normal behavior indeed. Talking to yourself, throwing coffee in people's face. I do that all the time. That's my morning routine. It burned my face pretty bad, and he refused to leave and just gazed at me from across the restaurant. I called the police, and they came and took him away. I still don't know what happened that day. You know why he was probably pretty mad? He's probably pretty mad because do you imagine what he probably did for that dollar? I mean, $1's $1, son. I'll do a lot of things. All right? I'm no different, but I'm saying, you know what he probably did to get that dollar? Yeah, and then you didn't take it. His hard work was for nothing. You offended him. That's what happened. That's why he threw the coffee at your face. Because he was done. He took the pain to the face to earn $1. It's not much, but it's an honest day's work. Next message. I worked at McDonald's at 17 and frequently worked front counter. A lady comes in one day and ordered 2 hamburger Happy Meals, one without pickles and one without onions. She was slurring her words and wobbling a bit, so we assumed she was drunk. She gets her shit and walks away. 2 minutes later, she is back up there saying she wanted the no pickles on the one with no onions and the other way around on the second. You get what's happening here? I get what's happening here. The manager tells her that it's the same thing because it's the same thing. She starts getting irate and saying her son won't eat it like that and starts swatting the air in front of her. Side note, she didn't have a child with her, but she kept pointing beside her, referencing her son. There's no one there. So the manager just basically said F it and tells her they'll make her new ones just to get her out of the way. So she kept swatting the air, asking why we don't do anything about the bugs. There's no bugs. She just keeps mumbling nonsense. I was trying to keep one eye on her and refill the ice cream cones because she was scaring the crap out of me and I dropped them everywhere. She looked at me and was like, "Come on, baby. There ain't nothing to be nervous about. Come to mama. That's about the time my manager came up and gave her the correct hamburgers, and the chick took them and peaced out before I had a mental breakdown. There's nothing nervous to be about. Come to mama, baby, as she swats the air. The only thing to be nervous about is the invisible kid and the bugs. Should I be worried about the bug? I don't know. Should I be worried about the ghost kid? Probably. Come on, babe. Ain't nothing to be worried about. Next message. I used to work at Taco Bell and we had a bunch of mild stuff that seemed to occur everywhere. Piss us off at the drive-thru, burrito gets a triple dose of onions, etc. Supposedly, we were the better of the two in town. Rumor was the other site had problems with hand washing being optional. Ooh, with our site, it was bugs. That was the problem. Real bugs. Not the invisible bugs from the last story. Real bugs. You know the soda machine that's always stationed by the drive-thru window? The one with the nice big stack of paper cups that are kept next to the almost constantly open window? Well, ours always attracted gnats. I'm not sure if it was the paper or the moist humidity, but those effers love climbing inside the paper cups and just waiting to be covered in shiny dark soda. Hell yeah, just hit me in the face with it. Straw always picks up at the bottom of the cup first, right? My manager would always say. He's a good manager, apparently. Now, this Taco Bell had a fairly significant problem with ants, and we could never keep the food line clear and clean long enough to not attract a line. We'd find them almost daily crawling through one of the open containers, swarming at whatever piece of old chicken that wasn't pushed into the trash bin below. I'd chuck the whole bin if I had discovered one in it, and only if the manager wasn't around to notice. Oh, how she hated wasted food. So more often than not, the ant bins were kept in service. The ant bins are still there to this day. The worst incident, however, was the beetle burrito. Ever see a beetle crawl out of a burrito you just took a bite of? Nice wriggling legs, shiny wings, and a crunchy taco-like shell. Luckily, neither did this poor bastard who ordered it, because the beetle crawled right out of the burrito right as my coworker was wrapping it up. Honestly, much to both of our surprise. He was about to toss it when the manager asked him what he thought he was doing. Needless to say, there was no wasted food in her restaurant, and because the beetle crawled out of it and not into it, the burrito was fit to serve. I put in my 2 weeks notice that night, son. Oh my gosh. Sounds to me like you had a little bit of extra protein in your food at Taco Bell. Is that necessarily a bad thing? I don't think so. Next message. I work at Burger King and we had a lady come through the drive-thru one day and ordered some burgers. Well, it took a few minutes and she got irate as hell. After about 25 minutes, we just refunded the money. She was still extremely mad and said she was going to get her man and come back. She eventually did come back with a man that wanted to fight the guy in the drive-thru. He put him in a chokehold and threw him down. He then went out to his car to get a gun because he told the employee he was going to shoot him. Shocking. The employee went outside and they were fighting again, and he did indeed shoot the employee, who later died. The guy got charged with first-degree murder, and the lady got charged with a lesser crime. Long story short, a guy killed a dude over his order taking too long. That just about takes the damn cake, man. And I know what you're thinking. No way is that possible, right? No way is it possible. Well, here it is. Man kills Burger King employee after order takes too long. Wow. It actually happened. Stay away from food service. Stay away from Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, the place with the roaches and the bugs and stuff. If you want extra protein, just drink a protein shake. So that's all I have. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and you can message me on there, your stories, and I'll tell them to the damn world, and it will be terrible because this content's terrible. And you're here right now. I don't know why. I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Yes! Woo! Get on it, doggone it, son! Make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you get the hell on it. Diggity, doggone it. Bye. Yeah.